And now it's time for all the news that we can use and possibly abuse. Eugene Mulero is about to join us from Transport Topics. Eugene, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. Happy Monday. Hope you had a really good weekend.
Not too bad at all. While it lasted, how about yourself?
It was good. I actually was hitting the I-95 corridor. I had to go to New Jersey from Virginia to see some family. So I always enjoy, going back to, going to the rest stops and just kind of getting the feel for the road. Sometimes I get a little caught up in the Washington bubble. So it's always good to, just check out I-95, see how the highways are doing. But yeah, overall, things are going well. Thank you.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Well, that sounds real good. You are the senior reporter and editor, of course, at Transport Topics. I think everybody out there right now knows that already. And I was looking through some stuff this weekend, speaking of the weekend, and I thought maybe I'd ask you to kind of weigh in on something. DOT is trying to close, the bad CDL mills. They're trying to get undocumented and sometimes even flat out illegal non English speaking drivers off the road. But an organization that really has nothing to do with trucking until like now, in a general sense, is in on it. FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network that the Department of, it's Treasury Department, isn't it, FinCEN?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And I've been kind of joking around. They've done something that Barney Fife would say will nip it in the bud. All of this stuff, all of the things that are clustered around the trucking, the big ticket item in trucking now, undocumented, illegal, unqualified drivers. And why are they here? They're here for money. And what do they do with that money? Well, they send it home. Where is home? Foreign countries. How much? Billions and billions, like $100 billion. So if you take the impetus away, the incentive away, there's no reason to be here. So DOT could just be a non-player in this whole thing in a minute. All they have to do is sit back and wait for everybody to leave, I guess, because $2,000, if you try to send money to a foreign country that is over $2,000, you're going to get flagged. Banks are starting to get, scared. Western Union ain't happy. Nobody's happy. Wow. Do you think that this could be like the silver bullet that just ends all of this stuff and we can move merrily along? It's almost sounds a little cynical in a sense, but on the other hand, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's you really laid it out very well, Dave, that just a little bit of background. FinCEN has been around for several decades and is one of these really little unknown divisions of the federal government that plays an outsized role in tracking the financial crimes that operate in this country. They were very prominent shortly after 9/11, going after any major money transfers that were linked to Al Qaeda and other networks that were deemed terrorist groups. Here, the Trump administration is, calling on the Treasury Department to use FinCEN, as you put it, to track anything larger than $2,000 that could be suspected or deemed, just flat out illegal after some findings. And where this goes under the umbrella of the trucking industry is that, as you pointed out, US DOT has been very aggressively going after CDL mills and other rogue players on their highways and throughout the trucking industry. So this is really DOT is not, working hand in hand with FinCEN. However, this is part of the Trump administration's multi-agency, crackdown of what they, again, these CDL mills and other related rogue actors. And this includes the Treasury Department, obviously, the Labor Department, the Energy Department and DOT, and together with DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and together they're really, as they say in Washington and in journalism, they're following the money. And going back to your point, the idea here is, somewhat obvious that if you find the source of the money, if you trap the money transfers, that the major incentive to participate in a rogue way in domestic trucking industries would be eliminated. And then the end result here, ideally, the ultimate goal is to improve safety on our highways.
Boy, that's a lot, I'll tell you. And it's amazing that the government. Okay, I was just talking to Jay Grimes, and I know you know Jay from OOIDA and Landline.
Yeah.
We were talking about the fact that you take the ELD thing now, the self-certification problems. We knew that was a problem going in. Why did we do it anyway? Well, we did it. Canada didn't do it, so they don't have the problems. So now we're going to fix that problem. And with the CDLs and all of that and the undocumented workers and everything, we created that problem. The English-speaking thing we created. So all of these problems that, and I hate to keep beating this poor horse who's been dead now for a long time. We keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and then we try to fix them. Maybe, I mean, when it comes down to it, maybe FinCEN is like the saving grace here because, again, it can do what others can do without the red tape because it takes years for anything. How many years did we talk about the ELD before it actually went into effect, before it went on paper, and then it took a while before it actually went on the road,
Exactly, yeah. And this is why FinCEN has been a go-to tool for these types of, problems and situations. The Treasury Department. So additionally, FinCEN is already, tracking, money transfers throughout the country with these, any transfer companies. So they're already being vigilant. That's their job. What the Trump administration is doing is they're putting them under the umbrella of an executive order that was specific to, illegal aliens and then linked to anything within the transportation, our transportation arena. So DOT has an involvement there with oversight. What will be very worth noting here, Dave, is that going forward, as soon as the Congress returns from the holidays, sometime in January, there is already a lot of bipartisanship to go and after the CDL mills and these rogue actors in the trucking industry. So Congress in January is going to really start finalizing what they call the highway bill, this major piece of legislation to update the laws of federal highway programs. There is already a lot of buzz that there's going to be some very strong enforcement language to go after CDL mills. You have some bipartisan voices in the House and Senate. Senators Tom Cotton from Arkansas, he's big champion on this. Senator Ted Cruz, Maria Cantwell on the Commerce Department. On the House side, you have the leadership from the House Transportation Committee. So all of these major policymakers are really focusing to do some real enforcement, combating to, like I said, improve safety while addressing this immigration concern, immigration problem, and getting rid of these rogue actors in the trucking industry.
Yeah, we can do that. Eugene, thank you so much. Always so good talking to you. I deeply appreciate you being with us here, not just this morning, but always.
Okay, you got it.